Okay, roll call.
Councillor Mackey. Councillor Elton. Councillor Desai.
Here.
Councillor Thomas. Councillor Body. Councillor Woodbury. Councillor Miller. Councillor Silver. Councillor Barnicki. Councillor Robinson. Present. Councillor Hutchinson.
Present.
Do any duration pecuniary interest? Seeing none, we'll proceed. Of the committee, the whole 25th, I'll need a mover put down the table. Moved by Councillor O'Leary and Councillor Burley. Are there questions, discussion on those minutes? None, opposed, is carried. We have item 6A, the Board of Health minutes. March 22nd. I need a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Milne, seconded by Councillor Patterson.
Thank you, Warden Hicks. Good morning, County Council. Dr. Era speaking. I will share some highlights in the minutes of our meeting that are in your package. You may have noticed that the meeting was chaired by Dr. Millen, as both the chair and myself and I were not able to attend, so thank you very much, Councillor Millen. We did have board orientation take place at that meeting, but you will notice there is not a board report included with those minutes. And now I want to share what we know to date with the proposed budget changes. And these points come directly from the budget proposal and are a summary of the update that the board received on April 26th. The first one, the $200 million cost savings and structural changes will be phased in over 3 years. There will be changes to the cost sharing formula with municipalities. Regional health entity will be created. The names and geographic boundaries are to be determined. Will come in April 1st, 2020. The dental program income seniors will be 100% funded. With the exception of low-income senior dental program, all other funding, including 100% funded programs, will be subject to a new funding model. There will be one-time funding for municipalities to address mitigation of the funding impact, and there will be a consultation phase in over the summer and fall. With the Grey Bruce Health Unit continue, Village Board team reporting will continue. The scheduling meetings with the health to start this consultation. Dr. Era has been meeting regularly with health unit staff to share information. And we know two-way communication is very important at this time, and I can share that staff are appreciative and open to working through these aims. So complicating matters is that further details are not known at this time. The magnitude of these changes is significant, but we want to assure the public that the Grey Bruce Health Unit will continue to promote, protect the health of all residents in Grey Bruce County. That's the highlights. I could try and answer questions, but as I said, we don't have many details, further details that's happening.
Any questions, Council? Good, thank you, Madison. Call the question. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? That is carried. Into item 7, we have 3 sets of bylaws to be approved. I'll ask for a mover to put them on the floor. Moved by Maddie, second by Councillor Sally. You have them before. You don't need to do anything specifically. Are there any questions on any of the 3 proposed bylaws? They seem pretty straightforward to me. Good. Then I'll call the question. All those in favor? Are there any opposed? Thank you. That's carried. Celebration. Councillor Bartnicki.
For you, Warden. We all know Holstein has the base maple syrup in Grey County, but the town of Blue Mountains has the best taste. We were chosen yesterday by 950 delegates attending a conference in Ottawa who did blind taste tests to make that decision. And I hear the purported business was also by this contest. We're very proud of our water treatment people in the Blue Mountains, and this is on the news today, so I'm happy to bring that.
Very good. Certainly.
Thank you, Warden. I was able to attend on behalf of Warden to a forum last week. There's Colleges Institute annual conference, all the colleges and institutes from across the country together. They had a pre-conference forum sound on rural colleges and institutes, small colleges, sustainability, etc. So it's going to be half the county and city, sort of county there throughout in New Zealand. Iglooit? Thank you. Yellowknife, Northern BC, New Brunswick, one end to the other, about 85 people. The level of debate, the presentations were really high, and it was really a fascinating thing to attend. I came out with a whole bunch of ideas that not only apply to Georgian College, but you could transfer them to a small community municipality. So fantastic conference. I was very happy to attend in your behalf. Thank you to staff for having really well prepared notes. That was certainly appreciated.
Councillor Stover?
Yes, we're full of good news in the town of Blue Mountains that we got. So the South Georgian Bay Small Business Enterprise Center has just been awarded an Ontario grant to implement the Digital Main Street pilot program that seeks to get locally owned Main Street businesses online and with new technologies such as optimizing their Google search engines and stuff. Something with the town of Blue Mountains, so be sustained the Digital Service Squad grant application, and we're approved for $10,000 to set up a digital service squad that will service all of South Georgian Bay. The SWAD will provide one-on-one assistance to small Main Street businesses to provide training, consulting, and advisory services. Also, last Sunday, the hike for hospice in support of the Chapman House Hospice in Old was in 9 communities throughout Grey Bruce, including town of the Blue Mountains. I was informed that in all 9 communities, 100,000 today is very confident that they'll reach their goal at 100,000. So that's a good news story. It provides very, very valuable service to all residents of Grey County and Bruce County. So that is good news.
Thank you, Councillor Stover. Councillor Burley?
Thank you, Mr. Burton. I was reading an article this week that this is National Clerks Week, and I want to say especially here in Jacksonville, job well done.
You can see at item 8A, acknowledge so let's have TMA in association with South Municipal Administrators, 812, looking to needs, Aid Association of Municipal Administrators, CAL, long service recognition of program recognizes and celebrates dedication to public service and municipal planning of members, with significant priority for our association. These are based on a number of years of full-time paid employment in a municipal government in a management capacity, the administrative officer, or reporting directly to a CAO. They are granted at 10 years and given increment. This year, in your municipality, we acknowledge the commitment of your Chief Administrative Officer, Kim Wingrove, for 10 years of municipal service in a management capacity. Her recognition pin has been mailed to her directly, but we deviously absconded that pin so that we could present it here this morning. And they're asking us to perhaps recognize her at a council meeting like this. So it's my pleasure to reach into my pocket now, and maybe we can go around to the front and I will present you with your 10-year pin. Here's your pin, and congratulations on 10 years of service. Thank you
Thank you, Warden Hicks and County Councilors. So my good news this morning is that summer is coming. It is absolutely coming. And I promise. The reason I know that is just down the street, there's a sale fall in someone's front lawn. In Grey County, when you see the sleds for sale, you know winter's gone. It ain't coming back. So we're heading to our busiest tourism season. Of course, we're a first season, but we get a little busier in the summer. So I'm here to share ideas around Celebration of Tourism Week, which is coming from May 26th to June 2nd. Just before we do that, I'd like to take an opportunity to introduce our tourism team, as we don't often in front of council. We're out across, and we'll be seeing you in your communities, but just so you can put some faces to the rest of the tourism team. I think you've met me, the tourism manager. I'd also like to introduce 2 of our full-time staff. We call them tourism specialists. In marketing and communications, we have Heather Aljo. I'd like to stand. Heather is from Chatsworth. She's been here since 2006. She started as a tourism summer student and never left, and oversees our very busy marketing and experience development pillar. Also, Allison Theodore, and Allison oversees partner and media relations, so also a very busy portfolio. Allison's been with us just about a year, came to us from Toronto, where she represented the island of St. Lucia. And Allison has just, I think, embedded herself so much in the last year. She's been across Grey County, knows parties very well, and has a lot to do with the exciting news we're about to announce. We also have 3 summer students. That's another reason why summer is really here. So I'd like to introduce Olivia Yale. Is back this year. Olivia was with us last year, but will be in a slightly role this year. She'll be 2 days a week with us doing more admin in the office, and then 3 days a week with Rob Hatch. And I think, as I understand it, out across Grey County, gathering a lot of digital resources, video, to praise. And certainly, our 2 summer seasons will be out an event in your communities and social media and brochures and maps. Mayor Hernandez left front instead of studies being Waterloo, and Beth Waldle on your right is Matsworth Centennial Study Lab. So you're student join on the mathematics and tourism. This is essential celebration across Canada. Really celebrate the importance of tourism in our communities, the economic impacts, the impact it has, of course, a lot of youth and people employed, but also the impact that it supports a lot that we as rather might not be about. So full studies lined up between May 22nd and active goal beyond that. Starting, we have a photo opportunity as we're aligned with you all, and we'll launch a campaign. We'll be doing survey. We've updated our industry website with a lot of important information. Of course, it is a big part of any campaign. So we'll be asking Grey County to share some of their favorites and things across Grey County, things to do, and we'll be peppering that with a lot of targeted messages about the importance and benefits of tourism. And hopefully we'll be visiting your communities as well. We've got a few, within that week, there are a few opportunities. Hopefully it's county council or at some municipal council meetings and other events. So I'm going to take my last couple of minutes. I promised Heather I'd be 5 minutes, and I will keep to that. Across Canada, tourism is so important, and last year was our best ever in Canada. We topped 20 million arrivals, and that international tourism has been growing greatly, about 2% a year in Canada. Fortunately, we're still a little below the international tourism, it's been growing about 4%. So really, we're doing a good job, but we could even be doing a better job. So that's an important message that we want to give. In Ontario, unfortunately, we're still back in 2016 for stats. We haven't got even the 2017 stats yet. But in 2016, 26.8 billion in visitor spending, both those people in Ontario. One important fact I'd like to point out, County Council, is that tourism is a very highly taxed industry. That 26 billion leverages over 11 billion in taxes, partly because there's a lot of transport involved, which is highly taxed, gas tax, airport, etc. A bit of alcohol is consumed as part of tourism, and that's highly taxed. And then it's also a big service industry, so a lot of employment taxes that go back to government, and of course at the municipal level, more property taxes. So 188,000 businesses are involved with tourism, over 3,000 jobs, and 144 million annual visits. So tourism is a big business in Ontario. As we get down to the more local level, it's really difficult to measure them accurately, and that's the message I'd like to leave council with as well, is tourism is a very simple concept. People come into our communities, they stay in our hotels and bed and breakfasts and visit our attractions and eat in our restaurants, and of course travel around our communities, leaving their money behind, and that generates benefits and employment. However, the trick is to separate the visit from local residents, and therein lies the real difficulty in accurately determining the impacts of tourism. So who are tourists? Very simple definition: any overnight stay and any stay more than 40 kilometers for non-routine activities. So anybody who travels more than 40 clicks or stays overnight there, a tourist or a visitor, and we try to capture that. Tells us that in 2016 we had 2.7 million visitors to Grey County, pretty big number. Overwhelmingly, they do come for vacation, for pleasure trips, so that's really important, over 50%. And secondarily, to visit friends and relatives, probably not staying in accommodation, but still visiting our restaurants and our attractions and still spending lots of money. And where people come from, there's about 10 top markets: GTA and the donut of regional municipalities around GTA and our surrounding municipalities. That's where our visitors come from. So that's the demand side of tourism, people that come. We can also look at the supply side, the businesses and the services that we offer in our communities. We have about 1,300 tourism-related businesses, which is 13% of the total in Grey County. That encompasses not just our direct tourism businesses, which are about half that number, probably 600, but also another 600 that indirectly benefit from tourism and derive a significant portion of their income from it. Our top activities are always mostly outdoor-related, sports-related, and we know that doesn't change too much year to year. So just to close out, what are the impacts that we benefit from financially in Grey County? About $333 million in tourism expenditures. The vast majority, about 42% of that, is on food and beverage. And that's where, while it's the biggest portion of our spend, it's still relative to the overall, it's probably about 20%. So that's where it's very difficult to measure the spend of our visitors versus all our local residents. If you walk into a restaurant, how many people are visitors, how many people are locals, that kind of thing. Accommodation 18%, transport 17%, and on it goes. So those are the sectors that benefit. And finally, I'll close out with jobs. And jobs is, I have to be honest, something that we have to interpret a little bit. There's a lot of different definitions of tourism, how many jobs there are. I've sort of bracketed it for you. I've given a high number and a low number. 8,000 jobs is all those tourism-related industries. So I think that's a very generous number. So that's 19% of our total in Grey County. We can also, using an economic impact model and the visitor spending, crunch that through a model that says about 2,800 jobs are directly supported by visitor expenditures in Grey County. I'm absolutely sure that's a low number. It really doesn't factor in that we've got a Blue Mountain here and we've got a lot of very highly touristic activity. So my guess is somewhere around 6,000 jobs is probably a more realistic estimate. And 3.1 million in municipal taxes. So that is a significant number that flows back into Grey County. So we will be collapsing all this information into some very pithy infographics and sharing that out during Tourism Week. And we hope to see you in that week. Thank you for your attention this morning and have a great summer.
Councillor Milne.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Thank you, Brian, for a great report. Good story. Great story. I can appreciate the difficulty trying to sort the visitors from the locals, but I think if you parked a local at the door and asked everybody coming through the door, how are you today? I think they could determine with a high degree of certainty whether it's a local or whether it's somebody from away. Maybe. There'd be a list of criteria. The fact that they'd even reply to you might give you an indication. It was been open on it. So, in any case, thank you very much. Thank you.
Sort of ambassadors that we could get across our communities.
Councillor McQueen.
Thank you for the invitation. I saw on your 10 list there it didn't include snowmobiling. And I know across the province there's over $1 billion spent in of snowmobiling, and I know that Grey County and Gracious area to get more than various the province. I don't know if number or
It's fairly down the list of great things. Sort of a low number of high impact in dollars. So I think you hit a nail on the head. We recognize that as very important, especially in the winter, through our communities. You know, Blue Mountain generates a lot of winter revenues, but in the rest of our communities, snowmobiling is very important. So it is a fairly low number. A lot are just off the list. Canoeing, golf, fishing are just sort of off that top 10. Snowmobiling might be a little lower, but still very important. So
follow up, certainly cycling, you see that, I think with even our changes with our road construction of creating a paved shoulder, you know, we see more cyclists there which, you know, maybe do or do not spend as much because they don't have to put gas in their bicycle, but they got to put something in the tank of their stomach, but, you know, that's still an offshoot, right, so.
Spend more overnight, so they're pretty good spenders. They tend to be less day trippers than overnight. But.
Councillor Robinson.
Thank you, and through you, Warden. Brian, I wonder if you could comment on the equine industry and the impact it has on tourism. Specifically, I'm thinking sanctioned horse shows. So you're bringing national and international eventers and people that exhibit their horses within Grey County. Also trail rides and camping with your horses. Could you provide a bit of a discussion?
Well, I'm afraid that's one of those I may have to defer. I can say that we are hoping to do a project that will delve deeper into stats. What we know right now is pretty much at the surface. That's a great example of another niche market that I can certainly check into what we have and get back to you with that. But we would like to spend more better understanding some of these niche markets. Maybe a small number, but are very important. So, can I get back to you on that?
Absolutely, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Brian, and congratulations on converting a good news into a full-blown report and a for our community, which is very important. And by the way, it's always good news when we have our students come back. I enjoy seeing our social media stats go through the roof, so welcome back to the students. And I would like to issue a challenge to this county council. I would like that you plan this spring and summer 2 events yourself, you and your family, where you do something in Grey County. Last year, I did quite a bit on the Bruce Trail. We had some exciting cycling routes, which I'm planning to partake in this summer. So I want to issue that challenge to everyone. And we will know you have met the challenge when you post on social media, and I know our students will be watching for that. So you can post at #VisitGrey, or, right? And if you're looking for ideas, you can go to visitgrey.ca and to the public as well. Go to visitgrey.ca and you'll get lots of ideas about things that you can do right here. Are we up for that challenge?
Oh, yes, Warden.
Councillor McQueen.
So what are you offering for the top prize?
Chocolate. To all of those people who meet the...
What kind?
What kind? Good chocolate. I don't know what kind. Maybe. It's all good, yes. Chocolate. Good enough? Thank you. All right, we're looking for...